Hi, I'm Vanessa with Ellie and Mac, and today we're going to be sewing up 2 woven tops. I know we all love woven, and today I picked 2 amazing fabrics. I got one linen fabric that's in a nice bubblegum pink, and then I also picked one of my favorite fabrics is a cotton chambray. I actually got this 40% off at a store that's known for 40% off, and it worked out to be about $3.60 per yard. So this is a fabric that I buy all the time because it's wonderful. And then I picked one amazing pattern, the Penelope pleated, and we're going to actually move it to have a center pleat, and then I'm going to have it come over like the pattern has instructed, but we're going to add a button for a nice detail. And then I'm going to show you how to create the facing after you've made a pleat so it's nice and smooth. So let's get to the cutting table. I decided to start out with a little time saver, laying down my chambray fabric and then doing my linen on top of it. I just felt this would save a little bit more time, and I cut it out the hip line cut line. And then I cut out the rest of the pattern just like the instructions state. I'm going to be doing the hack when I'm ironing it and sewing it, not while cutting. So just cut it out just like normal. I picked both these fabrics because they work so well in hot temperatures. Linen's made out of flax and cotton's made out of cotton. Here I'm cutting out the back facing, and I'm actually laying my iron-on interfacing on top, and then I took this directly to the iron and made sure that they stayed together. Perfect pleats always start at the ironing board. I did right sides together on the chambray, and then on the linen I did right sides out. I'm folding the fabric in half and I'm ironing it down the center to make a nice crease. After I ironed in my crease lines, I went to my sewing machine and I did a basting stitch at 5 millimeters, and with it 1 inch wide, I sewed down my shirt about 3 inches, but this again is a basting stitch. With my linen, I put right sides together, and then I'm just sewing that pleat in 1 inch. And then after this is just to get a finished edge on that Penelope pleated. I'm going to cut the edges and then flip it inside out. And then I'm going to do exactly like I did on the chambray and sew 1 inch wide all the way down 3 inches, basting it. Normally you finish this pleat with the facing, but because we're going to add the facing in afterwards, we need to do it a little bit different. But as you can see, when I iron it down, that pleat looks perfect, and we're ready to create the facing. So with my chambray, I'm going to be ironing it down at the pleat. So I'm going to make sure that that crease is in the center, and then I'm going to iron it down flat. So this is going to give us our center pleat, and then you're going to baste in that stitch. And then now I'm going to take that one over to my cutting board with iron-on interfacing and then my chambray. And I'm going to cut around the neckline first, and then you're going to take your back facing because you need to have your shoulder seams match up. So you need to have that guide for your thickness. Now with chambray, it's a pretty thick fabric, but the linen is not, and it's going to show. So on both of these, I wanted to keep it pretty thin, about 2 inches wide. Right here is it's called the fashion roller. Some people call it a French curve. Whatever you call it, I love to use it. This one's an antique, but if you don't happen to have one of these, you can easily use a quilting square, or you can fold your fabric in half and you can eyeball the shape of it, and both sides will be even. But this is a great way for you to use those fashion rollers and get used to them. So again, here is my linen top, and I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, cutting out the neckline and then using the back facing to decide how my facing is going to start in the front. And do the exact same thing with my fashion roller. I think once you start hacking quite a bit, you start using rollers more and more, and you just get really used to using these fashion rollers. These are just really fun. The curve helps in so many ways. Now with my facing, I'm going to be sewing the sides down. I did iron this down because I cut the facing and the fabric together. And so after you sew down both shoulder seams, I'm going to finish the edges at my serger. You can definitely do this in a different order, but this is just the order that I started with today. And then we're going to finish the edges across the whole facing at the serger. This is just so it doesn't fray and it looks nice from the other side. So from here on out, things move very quickly. I have my fronts up and then I take my back with right sides together, and I'm going to finish the shoulder seams on my blouses before I add the facings that we created. Make sure that you do both shoulder seams, and you want to do it on, if you're doing both tops like I am today, make sure you do it on all 4 shoulders. Now here you can see my tops have the shoulders in, and it's the moment of truth. Is that facing going to fit? So I got my clips out and I laid my facing down, and sure enough, it is a perfect fit. So make sure that you clip it well, and then you're going to take it back to the sewing machine and sew it at a 3/8 seam allowance. The 3/8 is what I have been sewing everything at so far today, and it's what is in the instructions. Now once you clip in the shoulder seams, then I like to work my way all the way around. And then I like to actually start at my shoulder seams just so I can make sure that everything is lined up perfectly. I love how this looks in the end. It's going to be so adorable. To ensure that the facing lays flat, you want to make sure that you clip around the corners before you flip it inside, and then you need to iron it down. After we get done ironing it down, we're going to take it back to the sewing machine and top stitch it. So I'm top stitching it at 2.4 millimeters, just like normally when you turn it on, and I'm doing a straight stitch. Now I'm making sure that the facing is staying folded under, and I'm sewing it at about 1/4 inch. Here's a different view of it. And it's just a normal top stitch, and I still have the basting stitch in for the pleat. For the downward pleat, I'm actually sewing it just the same, but once it comes to that pleat, I'm angling it down like it's supposed to be, and I'm top stitching it into place. So one of the things I hate is having my facing flip up. So a great trick to stop that from happening is you're going to actually sew in the seam, and you're going to sew down the facing at the shoulder seams on both sides. Now it's time to seam rip that basting stitch for the pleats on both of these tops. That's the chambray with a center pleat, and then in the linen you have to flip it inside out to remove that pleat, because how we had it flipped when we began. And once I flip this out, you're going to see how cute this is. I just love the Penelope pleated. It is just such a fun pattern. There you go. After that, it's time to close down those side seams. I've already serged, and I'm serging down the sides at 3/8 inch. And I'm just going to go all the way down on all 4 sides on both blouses. Then it's time to start on our sleeves. So after serging all the edges of our sleeves, it's time to sew them together. And then from here, we're going to start working on gathering the sleeves. Now, I am so particular with my gathering. I like to have my gathering a little bit smaller than normal, so this is at a 3. And then I'm going to be gathering on the seam allowance without touching my tension. I actually can't adjust the tension on this particular machine, but I'm going to keep my threads long, and I'm just going to use the bobbin thread to add these nice darling little gathers. And then I'm going to take my iron and iron in the gathers to make sure that it locks them in and they're not going to be moving around when I'm trying to sew them into my armhole. You're trying to make sure that all the gathers are facing up and you're not having one that falls down, because that will create an instant hole. Then I'm actually going to add a pleat on these sleeves. I decided to keep going strong with the pleat. I ironed it in half again, and now I'm doing the basting stitch right in the middle with a 1 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to turn these into the center pleats like I did with the chambray. So here I have it opened, and I'm basting it opened on the middle of the sleeve. Now, I love this stuff. This is called hem tape, and it's very similar to binding, but it's actually only folded over on one side. It's so you can sew it on. I'm sewing on a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then when you flip it over, you iron it back, and then you can top stitch it down, and it makes for a really beautiful finished edge with a really fun detail that's in the inside. And so it's a little detail that's only for you, and I just love it. It's just one of my favorite things to use. It's in my vintage dresser. So I added the hem tape to both sleeves. I gathered, and now I'm sewing on the sleeves at this point. Now I'm going to be sewing it at the 3/8 inch. I'm going to make sure that I check on those gathers that they are perfect as I'm sewing on top of them. Always make sure that your gathers are up. And then I'm going to be serging around the bottom of the shirt as well as around the arm side so I can get finished with this top. Now I'm doing the ruled hem on the curved hem. And I love this. So you rolled in your serge and then you roll over it again. And so each time you roll, it creates about a 1/4 inch or a little bit bigger. And so it's the perfect size of hem, and then it keeps the top looking so nice. Now here's the button detail. If you don't recognize these buttons, go back and watch my last Joanne haul video. It's where I got these gorgeous enamel and gold buttons. I'm sewing the button on and I'm going through the facing. This is another point that holds that facing down. I just love when my facing is held right in place and I have no worries about it. So make sure you triple knot it at the end because you want this button to stay on. Now you don't have to add the button on. In the pattern, it actually doesn't have this detail, but I just love it. Now I'm unpicking the pleats at my sleeves, on all of my sleeves. I love not having my sleeves really tight to my body when it's hot. I just feel like having airy sleeves makes sure that my arms stay cool on really hot days. All right, all done with both of these beautiful blouses. What do you think of all my pleats? I hope you give this a try. I love the center pleat as well as the pleats in the sleeve. This bubblegum pink is so adorable, and I love that enamel button so much. Look at those linen sleeves. I hope you give these hacks a try, whether it's adding on the hem tape or if it's adding on a button to Penelope pleated or just going pleats galore. Thank you so much for watching. A like and subscribe would be great. And as always, have a wonderful day.